What's up, guys? This is Courtney and Bruce of Deconstruction here.
And I am the older brother of Deconstruction and Bruce.
And today, we're bringing a special PMC wrap-up BoDcast episode with some friends and shit. It was like pulling teeth and kidnapping children to get all these people together.
We do not condone the kidnapping of children, just the fighting of them.
Basically. So yeah, we just got a group of friends around, and we're going to be talking about our PMC wrap-up, basically, and what we thought and things like that. So, who wants to start? What did everybody think of PMC?
Shouldn't we introduce our guest?
I mean, these are, I feel,
whatever. Rob is here.
Rob
you guys
is here.
know who that is.
Right, Rob is our, what was the title?
Editor-in-Chief. It's the EIC.
Yeah, but I thought we gave him a different
I never
title.
looked. He's the EIC. I never looked him up.
Okay, well, we have Editor-in-Chief Rob. We also have Jordan and Ashley. Jashley.
God damn it.
That
is not official. I would not let that.
Jordan.
Oh,
yes.
no. I would not let that fly either.
So, yeah, we got Ashley and Jordan here with us. Cosplayer and the guy who takes photographs of said cosplayers. Yeah. Say hi, guys. No, it isn't. It isn't awkward. Say hi, guys.
It just sounds
Hi,
weird.
guys.
Hello.
And Gary's here, but we don't count Gary as anything.
Who?
Exactly. Fuck you, Gary.
Oh my god. Anyway, so what did everybody think of PMC this time around?
I guess I'll go. As always,
I'm not going to talk into the mic because I want to actually make sure this is the first in-person setup we've done. So I want to make sure that we can actually pick people up on the other microphones. So yeah.
Sure. Well, as always, I enjoyed myself. Like, I got everything that I really needed purchase-wise Friday because I'm a vet now and I know what the fuck I'm doing.
Comes in handy.
Yeah. It was sort of a chore getting into. Just a little bit of a chore.
Yeah.
Just a smidge of a chore. It was like washing a cup that you dirtied. You didn't want to do it, but you had to do it. Right, Papa Bear? You're making us wash all our dishes this week.
Just this week?
Yeah.
It just made it seem like we just had dishes laying across the room and on the bed and then on the
You
floor.
put the bowl in the sink and Papa Bear standing at the sink like, the fuck is this?
Basically, that's what it was.
But no, man.
The half adult standing in.
Yeah.
Someone needed to be an adult for us this weekend.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Especially when you two are in the same room.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's very, very true. Yeah, I definitely think now first and foremost, the convention itself was great. Probably, I think it's safe to say that it's probably the best one. We've only been to 4.
This was our 4th.
This is our 4th one.
I've been to 5.
You've been to 5.
4 as well.
4.
So then
Is
I'm
it-
the only vet in the room.
Yeah, only.
Like the true vet.
Would it be safe to say that this is probably the best one? Has been the best one?
So from where they've come from to where they are now, it's grown substantially every year.
Every other year,
Oh, yeah.
technically.
Well, every year they hold it. This is clearly the largest one. I felt personally it was better organized inside than any of the other PMCs.
Yeah.
The actual layout of the floor, where the vendors were versus where the celebrities were. Typically in past years you had to walk through the celebrities to get to the vendors, which is always an issue because then nobody goes to the vendors. Having the vendors up front, everybody can see their things and then kind of make their way towards the back.
Yeah.
Aside from that, I think the only downfall, in my eyes, was level of badges not getting specifically what they were supposed to, whether it be a panel, early access, picking up your badges. There's a lot of structure that needs to be placed there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as far as the show, it's been the best one so far.
Yeah. Yeah, best show. Like I said, I think it's safe to say that. Yeah, really, my only gripes are very, very small. because obviously we had no idea of inner workings. I mean, we figured on Friday when we did pre-reg that we would be able to, if doors open for gold and platinum an hour early, we can go down an hour before that, and we should be able to get in line and walk up and get our stuff. And then at most it should take an hour, but at that time it's the time that it opens for us anyway. Took longer, and it didn't seem that it had any structure because basically it was just the Reds that had gotten in that were standing with us at least. Because it was like
there was in fact two separate sections. There was platinum and gold, and then there was everyone else.
Yeah,
but it was all being funneled into the same line.
They were offering some of the red, some of the platinum and gold, they were alternating back and forth.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is the way that the floor was, everything was blended together.
Yeah. Yeah. No, plain and simple. I think that was one of the things, because then it was like, hey, we're standing in line. Why are alternating between red and gold and plat? Like, I think there should have been. I think what probably would have worked a little bit better, at least in my opinion, is that platinum and gold should have a particular time that's way earlier than everybody else. So if doors open at 4 and platinum and gold get in at 3, pre-red should have opened for platinum and gold like 10. You got a platinum line, you got a gold line, knock it out. Red can come in 1, 2, maybe.
So I'm going to step that up even further. Because gold and platinum sell out within the first month, if not the first few weeks.
Yeah.
All that stuff should have been sent out in the mail.
Yeah.
Right? So then they don't even have to pre-reg.
Right.
They already have their stuff.
Yeah.
That way, if they are going to open it up early, then the pre-reg is literally for everyone else.
Yeah.
Gold and platinum have their stuff. I also believe, because platinum's paying such a high premium, that platinum should have the first 30 minutes of the floor to themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
Gold can then follow in 30 minutes after.
Mm-hmm.
So that way it's not like, well, I paid less and I'm getting the same shit
Right.
as platinum.
Right.
But Papa Bear, who is going to walk around the floor with you for a half hour? You won't have us out there with you.
You act like I need you.
He's gonna enjoy that
But Papa
time.
Bear, you need me.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I can actually definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
But it should have been kind of staggered like that instead of going back and forth. And I'm sure there's a very valid. I don't want to seem like I'm bashing, just straight up bashing.
Then stop bashing.
No, you're
No.
making good points.
Yeah.
So I think it should have been staggered like that, because
The only thing that could have helped out with that part would maybe be, since it's a bigger location, have a little bit of extra staff helping out.
yeah,
So he had extra staff, he being the convention runner, and that was actual individuals that work for that facility.
yeah,
With that said, they should have had a 30 to 45 minute sit down with everyone that's working that floor and state, this is what your tasks are. Oh, you're going to be working the door this weekend. This is what you have to look for. Oh, they also should probably have had a list of those that can come and go regardless of what their badge would say. Right? If
Yeah.
you run out of badges because you're giving them away like candy to those that technically probably shouldn't have had a quote-unquote guest badge, we saw a couple of them.
Yeah.
They didn't deserve a guest badge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They weren't a guest. They weren't working with anybody. They just technically shouldn't have had a guest. That led to actual people that were guests not having a badge at all and having issues.
Yeah.
Convention runner, if you want names, feel free to contact me.
yeah. So I think that was one of the things, and then the wristband thing.
Oh,
I
wristband
didn't-
was
I
idiotic.
think that was confusion everybody.
Confusion.
Yeah.
Definitely
Beyond
lack of
belief.
communication.
Yeah.
Why have a lanyard that states who and what I am,
Mm-hmm.
but then tell me that doesn't matter? The wristband is what is important.
The paper wristband.
Yeah.
At least that could break the easiest.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, but that wristband. So Platinum had one that said Platinum.
Mm-hmm.
Gold didn't.
No,
Yeah.
Gold had an orange one
And
that had
a
nothing on
plain
it.
orange.
Nothing written on it.
And
was
then
kinda
red
confusing.
had one
Yeah,
that said
red.
red on it.
Yeah, Red had one.
It was a bit confusing.
So, granted, things can fall through the cracks. As we know, there are certain aspects of our badges that we pre-purchased that we still don't have,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
which is understandable. There was a reasoning behind it. But guess what? It wasn't posted anywhere.
Yeah.
That information should have been put on the website, should have been put on social media. It should have been handed out in our bags,
Mm-hmm.
stating, hey, this is what's going to happen. This is the process. Because now there's going to be a shit ton of emails that have to be sifted through to give each individual person information.
Yeah. I think those are my really only two big gripes, really.
Well, let's
Just-
talk about the panels then.
Well, I like the way the panel rooms were set up.
Yeah.
The panel rooms
Access.
were beautiful. They
right
were so
next to
big
them.
and
There was
nice.
space,
There was
absolutely.
so much
Mhm.
space. It was
Yeah.
awesome.
Plenty.
I'll
Space.
agree with that. There was a lot of space for these panels. However, individual running it probably shouldn't have.
Agree as well.
Agreed.
Given that Gold and Platinum again had priority,
Mhm.
but didn't get priority because more than likely, I would say personal reasons why. I can't say for sure, but there's no other reason for you to not follow the actual direction and rules of this situation
Yeah.
and allow everybody other than Platinum and Gold into the room before them.
Yeah, it's not like it's changed over the years. It's always
It hasn't.
been the same setup.
Yeah.
Oh, it has. Granted, it has. There was an issue. They actually took stickers with numbers and placed them on
Yes.
all the seats at
Yes.
PMC 2.
They were a
I
little more
remember that.
detailed with it.
PMC 3, they had
They
these
had the
rows.
numbers- They had the numbers as well because we had those ones.
I think that was
PMC
PMC
3.
4. That
Well,
was
one of them was the rows were coded per the type
Yeah.
of badge
Oh,
you
yeah.
had.
Yes, we had numbered and coded.
We had
I think it
numbered
was
and
in
coded, I
PMC.
think.
Yeah, but I don't think they put the numbers on the seats.
No,
Oh.
they put the numbers of PMC4 because Courtney and I's seat were nowhere near each other
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we didn't buy together.
Yeah, we didn't buy the
Oh.
passes together. our
So
numbers were
beyond,
kinda-
I want to say beyond 3, it was just color coded because that's when we had separate colored badges and we sat with each other.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
just sat behind each other. It was like,
So, if you're going to go one way, in my opinion, it should be first X amount of rows are platinum, regardless. Then the next X amount of rows are gold, regardless.
And then everybody.
If the panel begins and those seats are open, gold can move up to platinum. Everyone else can move into gold. It's very simple.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't go to a whole lot of panels, so I didn't have to deal with that. And when in the panels that I did go to, I just stood up in the back because I was really more so peeking my head in.
yeah.
So I went to one panel, and that was the Hasbro panel. And we were able to sit where we wanted to sit. But when I walked in having a platinum badge, I was not allowed to walk up to the first couple rows. Even though there were seats wide open.
Really?
Was told I could not go any further.
Yeah, that's unacceptable.
That, yeah.
Even after presenting your badge?
Didn't matter.
Wow. Cool.
I was told I was not allowed to go any further than the point that they were allowing. So we sat in a different spot, which was fine. Wasn't a bad seat because it's a Hasbro panel. I needed the screen, not the stage.
Right.
But then when that portion of the panel ended, we were all then told, move to the center of your aisle to allow others to come in and sit on the end. No, bitch. I chose my seat for a fucking reason, and I'm going to sit here.
Yeah.
Tell me to move. I dare you.
It's not a movie theater.
Regardless of
Yeah,
what it is. I'm sorry that if you didn't come to the first portion of the panel, and they weren't clearing the room, you don't see people at San Diego saying, oh, you right there, you have 2 seats to your right, please move over. No.
Right.
No. You get up, there's an
Fill up the
opening spot,
seats.
you sit in whatever's there.
Yeah.
That's why you put a little space in between the rows. That way you can get through.
Right. Exactly. Don't crowd the chairs up on.
And I get what Scott did. He delegated. He had faith in whoever he was delegating to. Some aspects worked well. Some didn't. And I have to say that this specific aspect did not work. That main panel room was not run properly.
Yeah.
I do like the fact, though, that whenever you walked into a panel and if you wanted to stand on the side, they didn't tell you you needed to take a seat.
They did, though.
Oh.
Hasbro.
Oh, the Hasbro
Hasbro,
one, maybe.
yeah.
Oh.
They stated it after the Hasbro portion ended and then the show portion was going to begin. They flat out said there will be no standing during this panel.
Oh.
Okay.
That's why they were telling people to move in. No, you just say, oh, you have one person? Let me find you a one-spot seat within this
Yeah.
crowd of people. Hey, there's a seat right here. Take a seat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you have two? There's some rows in the back that have two openings.
Yeah.
Or ask somebody, hey, can you move over so the two of us can sit together? Like, that's normal,
Yeah.
right?
It's one thing for the guests to ask, but not the so-called person working it shouldn't be pushing you around.
Yeah.
No, it's an open. So I disagreed with the last PMC when they had platinum and gold line up and then just ushered people row by row. But then I thought about it after the fact, and the panel they were doing it for made complete sense. It was the Dino Charge panel.
Oh, yeah.
That panel we knew was going to completely fill up.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Of
So
course.
ushering in and just filling the rows made the most sense. But where they were putting us didn't make sense. They should have put us not on the sides. That we should have filled that center row.
Yes. Agreed.
Yeah. Anybody else have any other problems? Because literally my only two problems were with basically like pre-reg stuff and getting things that I purchased. Like
Well, yeah,
standing-
like, what is it? We were going through our bags last night.
oh
The
yeah.
redemption bag. But I didn't get a water bottle and a different. Was I supposed to get that shirt, or was it a completely different shirt?
So we kind of went through and we were trying to figure out what shirts were what.
Mhm.
I think. Well, I think you got the correct shirts.
Yeah.
But the way they were presented were incorrect.
Yeah.
As you got two of one shirt
Mm-hmm.
and one of the other,
Yeah. And Courtney never
and
got
Courtney
the-
only got one of the shirts. Period.
Yeah.
And so
You
I
were
had-
missing a water bottle.
Yeah, I never got the water bottle.
I think you got an extra coin.
I think I did. Yeah.
So it just wasn't fully there.
So
Yeah.
whoever was stuffing the bags or whatnot wasn't.
There was no stuffing the bags. That's the
They didn't
thing.
do that this year?
So they presented you with a bag. If you had platinum or you had gold, they had certain items already in those bags.
Oh.
They would give you the bag. Then they would look at your sheet that had all of your items, go in the back, get whatever shirts and hoodies that was under your badge, hand them to you. Oh, you also have a figure. They would then go back, get the amount of figures you're supposed to have. Oh, here's your throne. Oh, wait, no, your throne's not here. Come back the next day, flash your sticker in the air, and you can come straight up to get it.
Yeah.
Out of convention's actual problem, they were shorted them. So that was an issue in itself.
Yeah.
Completely out of the convention's hands. Whoever was dealing with these didn't have enough, something went wrong, and this happens.
Mm-hmm.
But the way that they were, giving everything out, there was probably an easier... Because, listen, granted, we had more people at this convention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, platinum and gold should have been... Platinum comes in, clear them out, they leave. Gold comes in, clear them out, they leave. Then everybody else.
Yeah.
Yep.
I understand the early registration, but listen, every convention that I've gone to has the pre-registration, quote unquote, that ends at a certain time.
Yeah.
And that deadline is so things can be mailed out.
Yeah. You can get it in the mail before the convention starts.
Even if it's a week or two before, you still have that item in your hand, and you don't have to go through this stuff.
Right.
There also should have been a platinum redemption time.
Yeah.
Day one, between the hours of 5 when the door opens and 7, platinum can come and redeem their registration.
Yeah.
Get all their items. Not a line that has everybody in it.
Yeah.
That's where I think a lot of the...
Yeah, because
if you think about it, if Platinum got all their stuff and got out of the way, that's less bodies standing in that line.
Mm-hmm.
Then you do gold.
right.
It's less bodies standing in that line.
Yeah.
And then whatever the next tier would be, whether it be silver or red, I still don't know which one comes first, but
Right.
that's the smart play.
Yeah, because even at one point when Bruce went down there to the redemption line to redeem his registration, and I was kind of coming in late, and like I walked up, and the security guy was like, "Oh, this line is capped for like 15 minutes till it goes down." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." Luckily, I had to go back to the room to go grab something for you. And then when I came back, I just got in line with Bruce. Like, I just walked past it because he was already near the front. And I was like, I'm not standing in this line because it's capped again in the time that it took me to walk back to the room and back.
Yeah, when I got in the redemption line, it was during the hour grace period that Gold and Platinum has. But I was surrounded by reds.
Yeah.
So, got to the convention earlier than when it opened, just so I can walk around. I was like, all right, I'm going to get there early, go and grab my bag, and then I'm sitting there talking to people. I was like, oh yeah, red, and I was like, how did you get in here?
So there was nobody even ushering the Reds out.
Nope.
You gotta come back
There was
in
the
a
one
while.
guy that was very enthusiastic at his job, saying and quoting lines from Power Rangers.
Oh, yeah.
That security guard was awesome.
Yeah.
He
Morphin
was
time, guys.
he was actually paying attention to what was going in and out of the door. The other broad at the other door wasn't even on this planet, I don't think.
Well, there was a good
She was out of
handful-
it.
There was a good handful of times that you can just walk in with nobody would even pay attention. to
We
your-
started hanging our
your
badge from
wristbands.
our bags.
Yeah.
Like, our wristband was on our bag, our lanyard and badge were on our bags. No one saw anything. I would purposely, when there was a new security guard at the door, cover my wristband that's taped onto my badge, not even my wrist, and see if anybody would say anything. Nobody said anything.
I had my wristband in my pocket the whole time.
Yeah, Jordan
Half the
had
time I didn't
my
pull it out. I just
my
walked right
badge
through the doors. So.
and wristband because I was cosplaying. So,
Yeah.
like being a Power Ranger in spandex, walking through in and out, they just assume you're there, I guess.
Except for when you're actually a Power Ranger
Yeah,
and you go in
exactly.
and out.
Yeah.
You can't
You
get
get
in.
denied access.
I think that was one of probably the only other problem that I had, like hearing, because a lot of us are very, very familiar with the actors, very friendly with the actors, and hearing that certain actors, like,
No names. We don't have
yeah,
to put names out.
no, certain actors just didn't have
Their booths were-
like their booth set up already, or have like people. I won't even say handlers, because most actors bring a family member
Yeah.
or something like that
Yeah,
to help
someone
with
to
that.
help them, yeah.
Or being
But-
stopped at the door and not allowed in.
Right, being stopped at the door,
Yeah.
and it's like, hey, do you belong in here? But like, even anybody checking on them, and it was like, hey, now I saw at some points like people walking around taking food orders, this and that, but then I shouldn't walk up to,
That was also Sunday, not Friday and not Saturday.
yeah,
We know firsthand that there were individuals that waited 6 hours for a bottle of water.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
Maybe 4 hours.
yeah,
6 is probably
Which,
exaggerated.
if you
but
think about it, every actor probably should be supplied with a couple bottles of water at the beginning of the day, so it lasts them throughout the day.
yeah,
Oh, yeah, like,
At least water.
I can
At
agree
least
with
water.
that. I can definitely agree with that. But at the same token, it's like all the actors should have known where they can go
Right.
The
to get
green
these
room,
things.
yeah.
Yes.
There were individuals that were never told.
yeah,
Yeah.
So that whoever is handling the actual guest list, that's who dropped the ball there.
Yes.
Yeah.
I cannot put nearly half. I don't even think I can put 75% of the issues on Scott as the convention runner.
Right.
He, for the first time that, from my knowledge, delegated to individuals to do certain things and put nothing but trust into those individuals to do their job.
yeah,
And whoever was handling the guests while on site dropped the ball. Whoever was doing the panels dropped the ball.
yeah,
Whoever was working the floor dropped the ball. The only place that I saw any structure was in that back corner when JDF was signing
yeah.
and when RJ was signing.
yeah,
That was the
Yeah.
only place that had pure, correct structure.
Yeah.
yeah. So I think that those three things are really my only other problems. Like, it shouldn't be like you run into an actor and be like, hey, how's it going? And they're like so confused about what's going on. Like that's a little Like, wait, what?
Well, to go off the same comment you just made, when you go up to an actor that you are friendly with, not just like, hey, sign this for me,
Right.
but can actually hold a conversation
Right.
with them, and the first thing out of their mouth isn't, oh, it's a good show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because that technically should be, when you ask the question, how's everything going?
Right.
The show's great.
Yeah.
However, no, we were getting, I sat here for hours waiting for someone to check on me and offer me anything.
Yeah.
Like, I did see, like, certain people going around, like, hey, you have a panel at this time.
Mm-hmm.
But then other people who had panels, or maybe also been in the same panel, were not informed.
So just like Platinum and Gold should, in my opinion, be mailed their items, the guests that are going to be there, if they are being presented with a hotel,
Yeah.
should have a welcome packet when they arrive
Mhm.
that says, this is when your panels are, this is when your photops are, this is where you can meet in the green room. Whatever the case is, they should have a full itinerary available at their disposal when they check into their hotel.
I remember, because, like, at last PMC when we were helping set up, and the guests were coming in, walking around, getting the lay of the land.
Mm-hmm.
They should have been able to do that this year, too.
So,
Just so, like, okay, these are the panels.
well, we know firsthand that there were a handful of guests that had the worst flight situation.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
That's true.
And
That's
whether
very
that
true.
was to save a buck or that was the only thing available because it was either last minute or just whatever the case, that's not something should happen.
Yeah.
Nobody should have to get on 2 to 3 planes just to get into town, at a decent hour.
Yeah. Yeah, we took a really, really quick break. Ashley and Jordan had to leave us, but we're going to continue the conversation. Last thing we were talking about before was flight situations and things that the actors had been telling us they were going through.
Yeah, I just wanted to put out there that just like we have to pre-register and pick up our things, the guests shouldn't have to go through any hoops. They should just have their things available when they check in at the hotel.
Yeah.
Kind of like here, upon your check-in, the hotel that they are all staying in should have a list of, oh, so-and-so is arrived, we have a package for you. And it should have all of their belongings, all the itinerary, everything. So we went over that, but, I mean, just in a total, just to reiterate, this convention was by far the best one.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hands down.
Yeah.
The fight that Scott specifically had to go through to make sure certain aspects happened is beyond belief.
Yeah.
Just the amount of effort I can only imagine that went into actually getting it together. Because not only did you change locations, you changed cities. It wasn't just like we were in a different convention center in Pasadena. It was like, no, we moved an hour away.
Yep.
A brand new convention center at that.
Yep.
This PMC was the first convention at the newly built Anaheim Convention Center.
Correct.
So just switching all that stuff, getting all that together, actually going out, hiring external workers for like security and doing what else are they doing? Like some registration stuff as well.
It was mainly door watching. I mean,
Yeah.
we had police on site at all times.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will be like, oh, that's because so-and-so was here. No, that was for the safety of everybody attending.
Yeah.
It was just a very well thought out move.
Yeah.
Originally it was said, so everybody has more hotel options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We personally have been in 3 different hotels in the area, and any one of them would have sufficed.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
chose the location that we are currently in because of the setup
Yeah.
and what it would provide for us for a long-term situation. It was cost effective. At the end of the day, we probably saved more money than most
Yeah.
that were staying in this area.
Yeah.
The location's great. I don't think there was a single issue with the location.
Oh.
No.
The facility is beautiful.
Yeah.
I look forward to coming back to this location in 2 years, as it was announced that there will be another one in 2020.
Yeah.
Now, whether that'll be here or it'll be in a larger facility or it won't be here at all, we will have to wait at least a year to know that information.
Yeah.
But just for those that will listen to this, there's been a lot of negativity being thrown. Try putting out a positive resolution before throwing shit at somebody who has gone out of their way to produce something that you're not getting anywhere else.
Right.
You're not able to go to a convention that is completely 100% dedicated to something you enjoy. You have to go to a convention that might have maybe 5% of that.
Mm-hmm.
If 5%.
There's things that I'm fans of that I can't find anywhere.
Right.
Digimon.
Yeah.
Last Airbender.
Yeah. So I think I can't even imagine the amount of effort that just went into this entire moving the convention to Anaheim. I was gonna say Panaheim because I still love Pasadena.
Because
Pasadena
Pasadena.
is what heart is.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually really do love Pasadena, but I mean, just overall, we really just wanted more so to talk about.
That couldn't have happened at a better point.
I apologize.
Oh, that's staying in. That's staying in. I think that was
Our
the allotted
sister
time
calling
for
us.
copyright.
I don't think it was long enough to be copyrighted.
That is absolutely amazing. That's staying in. That's absolutely staying in. But I think just overall, it was really more so a discussion about like what we feel they could improve on. Because like we said, this was hands down. I don't have any problem agreeing with anybody that says PMC 6. This PMC was the best PMC so far.
Yep. There are people that are saying, "How can you top it? How can you top it?" Well, we've said that every year.
Right.
Yeah.
We say, and that's the thing. Like PMC has literally gotten better every year, and I'll chalk up PMC 3 being our first one. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, oh, this is stuff that we're new to. He had convention experience.
Yeah.
He being who?
Bruce had convention experience.
People can't see us, so
That's
you
fine.
gotta stay tuned.
That's fine. Bruce had convention experience. PMC 3 was my first convention, but it was just the atmosphere, the fans, the actors, everybody together made it a very enjoyable experience. So it was like, well, damn, that's another one? Well, all right, let's see what happens there. And then they keep getting better, but I also think the experiences with people keep getting better as well. Because, I mean, at this point...
Well, we said it Thursday, the day before the convention. Mm-hmm. We pretty much all agreed it was the best full day as a whole, as a group, that we've had in 8 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just like we've already stated all of this stuff, but you know it's just a small, I won't even say nitpicky things. It's just the small other things that we hope that they improve on. Because again, we're not bashing Scott or the runners of the convention. We're not doing that at all. It's like, hey, the convention is great. These are some of the areas where we just kind of felt shorted on, or we just...
I have nothing but respect for the people behind the scenes.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
absolutely.
There are some aspects that they could use work.
Yeah.
Which you can't go to, let's say, a convention I'm very familiar with, New York Comic Con, and expect everything to go smooth.
Oh, yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
They specifically do more promotion than any convention that I know on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Maybe second to, if not tied with, Dragon Con.
Yeah.
You can't go anywhere without seeing something New York Comic Con, It doesn't matter where you are. Any social media outlet, they put the money, they put the funds in, they make sure that it's a big thing. And they've outgrown the facility that they're in now. They're now doing things off-site at places like Madison Square Garden. Some of their biggest panels that people were unable to get into because of how large they were, Walking Dead specifically, they hold that panel at Madison Square Garden.
Wow.
Jesus.
So there's only room to improve and to grow for any convention.
Yeah, absolutely.
But with Hasbro, this is where I want to turn the entire conversation away from just PMC.
Yeah.
Hasbro had a huge presence
Yeah.
this weekend.
Yeah.
Gee, I was
Much
not prepared
larger
for
than
that.
expected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Granted, their booth was just 25 years of props and suits, but on Saturday they unveiled what they have plans for the toy line, and you couldn't have taken it more positive.
Yeah.
You specifically, Bruce, not being a super fan of that character that they unveiled,
Yeah.
you were impressed with the
Because
detail.
The film. Okay. Saying as we're talking about Power Rangers, fucking hate the White Ranger. Tommy gets kidnapped more than anybody in the series. They led with the White Ranger.
We have a video on it. Check it out.
And as I said, I will not let an episode go by when we talk about Power Rangers, but we'll not mention that Tommy is the most kidnapped Ranger in Power Ranger history. But they led with the White Ranger. Rob sent me a video because I forgot what we were doing up here. I think.
You were getting ready.
Yeah.
We went down specifically to.
Go to-
I personally went down for Adelaide because she was only here one day.
Yeah.
And sorry, we just got a grin from somebody at the table. And it just so happened that as soon as I finished up, the Hasbro 2-hour presentation was happening. And, continue.
Yeah, so Rob sent me the video of them explaining everything they're going to do. Then it was the breakdown of the figure. Now, I am not a really staunch collector of the Legacy figures because it's like a retread of characters that I already have. And then Rob was like, and this is how they're going to be releasing them. And I'm like, I don't like that release schedule. But the price points, everything that they broke down for this, is just like, okay, I kind of got to start collecting these.
And the release schedule.
Yeah, and the release
it's
schedule.
not season to season. It's an anthology. And for those that don't understand what anthology is, it means over the course of the entire thing, they will throw a little bit here, a little bit there. It's not going to be in concession from day one to current. That's the purpose of an anthology. It's the best of over the years.
Yeah.
And of course, granted, there's going to be characters that are going to get slipped in there that may not be as popular, but Hasbro being the toy geniuses that they are, there's going to be a reason you're going to want to pick up that one or two characters in a line that you're not a fan of. Whether it be, for all intent and purposes, a Cyclopsis Build-A-Figure, something that's never been done. They've stated that Renegade Games with the
Heroes of the Grid.
the tabletop game, they're gonna have a mini Cyclopsis figure that's gonna or mini figure that's gonna be available, and they put emphasis on the first time ever.
Yeah.
If they're gonna do it there, you can't think that they won't do it elsewhere.
Of course.
So they have their hands and their eyes on everything that we as fans are doing and what has been or has not been a good thing over the course of 25 years of this line.
Yeah.
But not only that, there was a handful of Hasbro reps at the Ninja Steel signing.
Mm-hmm.
There hasn't been anything like that in the past from Saban. It's typically, here's your handler, here's your guests, in and out, done deal, that's that. But Hasbro had they were all over that floor all weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting maybe... Obviously, we had known that they were going to do a panel. Outside of the panel, I hadn't really expected much of anything. Maybe a booth where they were showing off some stuff, but nothing major.
Yeah.
But that was it. But they had old props. They had helmets up. It was
Suits.
Yeah, suits and everything like that. Like it was surprising to walk in and be like, oh, this is what they're doing. All right. And then, you get the announcement of what they plan on doing with the Legacy line. And then it's like, all right.
Well, we have to completely correct you.
It is no longer the Legacy.
Well,
It's no longer Legacy.
Well, at the time when
It's the Lightning line.
Lightning line.
Or Lightning Collection.
Yeah.
Lightning
Sorry.
Collection.
So we have Marvel Legends,
Mhm.
we have Black Series,
Mhm.
and now we have the Lightning Collection. all, in my opinion, is a positive move.
Yeah. So I just think overall the convention was great.
What I did like, I'm sorry to cut you off.
Did or didn't?
I did like.
Thank you.
So and it's hopeful. Every exclusive that PMC got was amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it makes me hopeful with Hasbro being more
Hasbro
involved
having their
in
hands
this.
in.
I'm like, okay.
Let's just break this down. So Hasbro has to put something out for all their major lines at San Diego every year.
Yeah.
They only have to do something for us
Every
at
2 years.
this convention every 2 years. I can honestly see a double up because it's the one every 2 year situation. I would hopefully somebody listens to this of importance, that they would hold that. See, they had an option to show this stuff at San Diego.
Yeah.
But they didn't. They waited for this convention to do it.
Take where your market is.
We did a podcast not too long ago, and I personally stated that there's a chance that PMC would die.
Mm-hmm.
Hasbro gets their hands on it. Hasbro says, we're going to do our own. I'm almost positive Hasbro is just going to adopt this as that.
Yeah, I can see that.
And that would be the best scenario. It's already there.
Yeah. You just, okay, we see that you have this. You were doing good, and we got the property. Like, you're maintaining. We got the property. It was like, we're just going to help you up.
Here's our hand. What do you need? And that's that.
Stop doing coke, Gary. But,
He's
so
not
I got
doing any
the
of those activities.
I got the Draken figure from Rob because...
Well, explain what happened.
Okay, so I...
because technically it's not you, it's not them. There was an actual digital malfunction.
So I bought the Draken figure, the Lord Draken exclusive, months ago. I went in at it, so it was in my, paid for the $50 because it was when they bumped the price up from 40 to 50, which is when I decided to buy it.
Because you're an ass.
I apologize for that, Papa Bear. So then I go, and then they announced the Henshin Vault coin. Well, they didn't announce it. It was just available. And then the exclusive Funko, the Megazord. So then I go back and buy both of those. Then I see $26. And I was like, I don't know what that means. Apparently when I bought the Draken figure, it just put a credit on my account. And they just took the money off that credit to pay for the pop. So when I go to redeem it, Scott personally broke everything down for me and was like, yeah, so you were credited the 26 for, and I was like, oh, okay, so probably a website because it's the first time they used this service, right?
Correct.
Because the old one, I remember launch, the old website did not work, and then they switched it over.
Not only that, there was never an option for this to begin with. You weren't able to pre-purchase exclusives at all.
Yeah.
Bandai would present a few weeks before, this is what you'll be capable of
getting. And then you
getting.
had to get in line and get the ticket.
You had to get in line, you had to get a wristband or a ticket or whatever that just gave you the ability to stand in line when doors open to purchase that. And they've adopted that to all of their conventions. And Hasbro also, they do that at all of their large conventions, San Diego, wherever they're going to be doing things. You have to get a wristband. So doing this stuff early does two things. One, it alleviates congestion when individuals that are interested in it are trying to get it.
Yeah.
It also organizes it in the same sense. Two, you're now pre-selling all of this stuff, allowing you to get a base number based on your core fan base as to what the number should be. I'm fairly certain there's going to be a lot left over.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens with that. But at the same token, it's there, right? It was readily available for everybody. So anybody that would complain about, oh, I had to wait so long to pick up that, you didn't have to, because all day Sunday, that line was dead.
That line was non-existent.
And guess what? You pre-purchased that stuff. They knew exactly how many they needed to have at that show. Mm-hmm. Same thing goes for your redemption bag. Granted, there was a couple hiccups, but listen, when you're giving out 5,000 individual bags, It's going to happen.
Yeah, like once again, like I said earlier, we were there day one. All of us said we can wait.
Yep.
You got yours?
I said it before the day even started.
Yeah.
I said I'll go later tonight.
You got yours day one, but close to closing.
I was the last one to get my gear.
Courtney and I got ours day two, right when it opened.
Exactly.
Eric got his day three. He just walked up and was like, no line, let me go get my stuff.
Exactly. And that's what a lot of people didn't understand. A lot of people just need.
Yeah.
Guess what? That shit ain't going nowhere. It's there. You pre-purchased it. And guess what? If it's not there, you're going to get it. Right? Granted, if you waited till 5 o'clock on Sunday as doors are closing and they're kicking everybody out to get your gear, that's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But had you just kind of enjoyed the show, walked around, did your thing, and then said, oh, look, the line's not that bad right now. Let me go get it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. That's how conventions are. You got to pick and choose your time. If you picked and chose to stand in that line at the very beginning and you waited a few hours, that's on you.
Yeah.
Because you chose that.
Mm-hmm.
If that line was 1,000 deep, that's on you.
Yeah.
Because everybody has the same mentality as you.
Mm-hmm.
Think outside the box.
Yeah.
Plan accordingly. Have everything you need ahead of time. I can't tell you how many people were standing in line and didn't realize they needed to have access to their actual ticket. You needed to pull up that registration number on your phone.
Yep.
So now you're standing at the front desk, you're fumbling around trying to find it. Oh, I can't connect because the internet's not good. My cell phone won't get service.
That's
Hey,
why
there's
you
a thing called a screenshot.
Right. That's why you
Take a
screenshot before
screenshot,
you-
and now it's just in your photos.
Yeah, when you told me, there was like, hey, registration closes this day. You won't be able to go back in and look at anything. I literally that day went in
Yep.
and screenshotted all of my order.
Yep, and that was after they extended it twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I took a screenshot of my stuff as well, just in case. I was like, no, I don't want to walk up there and internet is acting stupid or something like that and trying to find it. Like, no, I just have the screenshot, and then if anything else comes up, maybe there's something that got cut out of the screenshot, then maybe I'll take the chance
Yeah,
of like trying to connect to the
I literally like screen, go up a little bit. So some of this first, just because.
yeah.
Also,
But
I'm incredibly anal about certain stuff.
Or be that guy that prints everything out, which there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Shit, when I went to Wizard and I got your stuff signed and
Yeah.
my stuff signed, I had 15 individual papers printed out. And I wrote on the top of each one what they were. So this way, all I had to do was just go through this list of papers
Yeah.
and present it. That's
Yeah.
it. Here's my ticket for the show. Here's my ticket for this autograph. You just got to be prepared. You can't expect everybody to do it for you.
Yeah.
I mean, I had people that here's another thing that really pissed me off. For the last year, I would comment on different things on Facebook and legitimately post a picture in the comments that stated, hey, under your ticket, you get all of these individual items. How did you not know that you were getting things for that ticket you were purchasing, and then have the audacity to fucking complain when you didn't get something because you bought the quote-unquote wrong badge? Everything is on the website. Why do you fucking idiots need everybody to spoon feed you everything?
Yeah.
It's there. Go to the website.
Yeah.
Get the information. I can't stress that more.
Yeah.
Like, it was so annoying.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the other things that I have problems with overall were really just
Before
more
you continue, I'm sorry, let me just reiterate, that has nothing to do with PMC. That just has everything to do with idiot people.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah,
continue.
no, absolutely. That's what I was gonna say.
I hate the human race.
Yeah, that was the
Continue.
only thing I was gonna say. Like, my only other problems that I had were with the people. It was like, hey, I don't know this and I don't know that, and it's like, really? Like, I can understand me not knowing something and just simply asking a question, but guys, a lot of the things that you guys are like uninformed about have really easy answers to find out. I don't understand, but I mean, overall, again,
Like, once again, I would like to thank Papa Bear for giving me one of his dragon figures. I've been
I think
literally pulling that thing out of the sleeve every night before I go to sleep, and just like, okay, I like it. I dig it.
like even with what Rob was saying about like the lines and everything like that. I had no intention of getting a third Draken figure because I was still kind of debating on whether or not they would probably even be available. I don't know how many they ordered. I don't know. So I wasn't aware if they were going to have any available. And part of me was like, there are going to be a bunch of people here that buy like 50, waiting to sell them off. And I'm probably not going to be able to get one. Sunday, doors closed at 5. Sunday at 3 o'clock. I walk over to the merch table and I buy a Draken figure. Why did I do that? Because I just wanted to walk over there and see if they had any.
And he also missed out on that Killmonger pop.
I did. Don't rub that in my face. Oh God, damn it. That Target exclusive to Killmonger. Anyway, I'm still depressed about that. But yeah, I literally walked over to the table and I was like, "You guys got any Draken figures? Yeah, let me get one."
So there was supposed to be a limit,
Mm-hmm.
and then that limit didn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Because we saw people that had badges that only were allowed 4,
Mm-hmm.
that had like 19 lined up on their hotel room bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just look what I got.
Mm-hmm.
Have fun getting it home.
Right.
What are you gonna do with it?
Right.
Right? You're gonna flood the market.
Mm-hmm.
Fine, do that. I got mine.
Yeah, I got mine. One of my friends that wasn't able to make it beforehand, as soon as he heard about the exclusive, he asked me, "Hey, grab me one." Fine. And then I was like, "Hey, I'll grab a second one." Or if they have it, I'm not gonna be upset if they don't.
Yeah.
Walked over there and I was like, "Hey, you guys got any Draken figures?" Yeah. Okay. let me
That
get one.
situation was well played and well placed.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Granted, there were some issues with the throne, again, out of PMC's hands.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, at the end of the day, it's a beautiful piece of work.
Oh, absolutely.
I think I'm the only one that has that. And there's sorry, 2 of us, but one just apparently is a mute today. He waved, by the way, people. Yeah, it's. I can't stress that enough. That this was a well designed, well laid out, well placed plan
Yeah.
with these exclusives and shit. We didn't have to get any of it.
Nope.
Previous years we got what a key set,
Mm-hmm.
2 of the not even the good keys either. In my
but there were 2 keys that weren't
Yes.
being released. So
And
at the
then
end
they
of the day, yeah, they were.
and then you got that
The year before that was the
Megazord?
first. Well, the year before that was the first official PMC exclusive, which was Shark Mode Red Samurai with a repainted Mooger.
That's the first exclusive I ever got.
Yeah.
no one cares game. Also, thanks for chiming in
Thanks for
finally.
joining in. So that was the
This
first.
is why I don't try it.
This was the first one that they did. The second one was the key. The third one was
Okay,
the
right.
black and gold Megazord.
I wanted that.
And then this year we had a figure, a second market, third party designed throne that didn't have to be there,
Yeah.
Right.
and a Funko,
Yeah, that
like an
which is
official
Funko.
Funko. So
got its own a Power Morphicon exclusive sticker and everything.
Yes.
Like I currently, it's outside of the glow in the dark, I have all the versions of the Megazord Funko on accident, but
and
still
I'm
have
not
that.
I'm not a black and gold fan, but it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Right? It was there, and it's limited quantity.
Yeah.
It's a really limited quantity.
It's like how when they released the stuff for San Diego, it's just like this item came out black and gold. I'm like, I don't care. It's
Or the 1,200 printed of this and the 3,000 of that, and it's like this is one of those scenarios. This pop, if not, everything it put on this table.
And then we all saw the Angel Grove Juice Bar shirts.
Yeah,
we
that
missed
sucked
out
that
on.
we
That-
found out late on
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Boom Studios had a shirt, and mind you, they're only allowed to sell items of that nature at conventions.
Mm-hmm.
But they had a Angel Grove Juice Bar shirt, and I want it. But the only way to get it was to know that it existed.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, because of how packed that table was, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I was at the table twice, and I didn't even know that shirt existed. there's just too many bodies around there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the thing about that is, that was gone. Was that later in the day when we found out about
So
it?
they didn't have our size left. They
Yeah,
had, I think, small and
Medium.
something else. Yeah, something else.
And now that I
So,
think about
but-
it, I probably could have gotten away with getting like a medium and maybe like
Medium,
shit.
like the shirt that I bought Bruce. A
That
5X
says
shirt that
5X.
could have fit my daughter.
I could
It
have
was
cut the
child
sleeves off of
size.
that and turned it into a workout shirt or something.
Yeah, you could have.
But yeah, but like there was so much stuff that just
Listen.
walking around.
I'm just going to go over the list of things that haven't been at previous shows.
Mhm.
There was at least, I'd say, 10 additional vendors than previous years.
Yeah.
Okay? Tamashi Nation selling actual exclusive items. Granted, they weren't exclusive to PMC. They were just exclusive, period.
Mm-hmm.
It was a leftover stock that was from San Diego. We didn't have to have that option.
No.
Tamashi Nations has been at previous PMCs,
Yep.
but on a level of here's a table, here's a few boxes of stock. That's it. They had a full-blown display, exclusives, additional items that didn't even fall into the Power Ranger category
Mm-hmm.
Godzilla.
that you can get at multiple conventions and or online.
Yeah.
But they had it there on site.
Yeah.
Boom Studios, full booth compared to their previous PMC where they literally had a table in a 10x10, if not maybe an 8x8 square with just a couple comics on there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They had their entire full stock of exclusive comics that are from previous shows. Not only that, they had the leftover green Psycho Ranger as well available at their booth.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, you purchased one, Gary? What did it cost you?
75.
Okay.
We went to a store early.
Yeah,
was
retail.
Was it on Thursday?
Somebody had it for 90.
Yeah, 90.
In store.
A bunch of vendors had it up 90 and up.
Yeah.
Once
Yeah, I
Boom
saw the
sold
job.
out officially, the vendors on site
Raised the price.
raised their prices to $100 a piece. Because they knew they could. They
Capitalism.
matched them at first, and then they raised their price.
There were some that were trying to sell it at 100 out the gate.
Yeah.
And they didn't. I don't think
Well,
they,
no,
I
I-
still don't think they have.
No.
It's- they're taking that
I
home.
remember when I walked in and when we just did the go get the lay of the floor, I saw multiple vendors. It was like $95. And then I was in line to get the Jason figure arts without the helmet. With
Which we
Gary?
both regret now because we're probably going to get one from Hasbro and it'll be better.
I will still get it. But we were talking, like, was in the line with Gary,
Yeah.
and there was some dude talking behind us. He was like, "Oh, where'd you get that?" He was like, "Boom's table for $75." And he was like, I go, "If I wanted that figure, I would have went and got it." But I think I didn't really want that much. But the stuff that when I walked in, it was like, "We got this," and I'm like,
It was all readily available.
"Yeah," and I love that because it's tailor made to my likings.
Yeah.
Like you found all your Marvel legends.
Yeah, that was a chore and a regret. But when I get home and that package comes, it's like I'm reliving PMC all over again.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's just this had more options.
Yeah.
Would I like more? Absolutely. I would absolutely enjoy having more vendors available at the convention solely because I do a lot of my collectible purchases at conventions
Yes.
or because I know a friend who owns a store and can practically get me anything that is being put out. It's just I like the hunt, right?
Oh, yeah.
I don't have Toys R Us anymore.
Yeah.
So the hunt has now been saved for convention going. But yeah, there's more positive than there is negative.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the negative that we have, in my opinion, can easily be corrected.
Yeah. Another thing with the vendors, what I liked is, they have all their quality, like, hey, this is the discount bucket. You go there on day one, and it's full, and you can't really... Then you come back on day 3, and everybody's gone through, bought everything, and it was like, I didn't see this before, and
But
I
I was
wanted it.
like me. I found that Die Ranger, White
Yes.
Tiger, whatever.
Juan Tiger.
Yeah, it's 2 individual things. It was marked at 35 at one point. I got them down to 20, and that was because it was the last day of the convention.
You were going in ready to pay the $25.
I
and you were
was.
like, hey, it was like $20, and I was like, Look at Papa Bear over here coming up.
Yeah, and then there was another one that had a couple figures that I wanted to grab. I kind of waited a minute, and he had no stock on Saturday, so I said, all right, well, I missed out on that. I'll look around and see if I can find it elsewhere. Guess what? Sunday morning, he had it again. I got it down to, another $5 off. So you had more options. Overall, that's what's important. The ability to do certain things that you can't really do anywhere else.
Yeah.
And that's something that Scott has kind of mastered. He gives us everything that we, as fans, would like to have in a smaller setting.
Yeah.
There was a lot of things that could have not happened, but it did happen.
Yeah.
So,
And for the first time, I was a panelist. Last one, I was on stage, but not in an official capacity. I was a stunt double, or as I was deemed, Black Bulk.
Hashtag Black Bulk.
Hashtag Black Bulk. And then I, was limited to one-word answers, and I stuck by that as long as I could. As long as I could. For comedic effect.
Yeah. There are a lot of things.
Almost killed Papa Bear.
There are a lot of things that did make this PMC. And again, I think that goes back to what I was saying earlier about the experiences. Like,
it's more than just a convention
Yeah.
at this point,
Yeah.
right? I look at this as, this is my vacation with friends,
Yeah.
and it just so happens this is actually happening that weekend
Yeah.
as well.
Same here.
Because at this point, there's not much more when I first came to PMC, it was a thing that I never thought existed. I found it, I jumped on board, and I met 50% of the actors I grew up on. That's my big thing when I go to conventions, aside from buying certain things and looking for this, and I go for the autographs and the photo ops and the conversation. But at this point, I think I'm done
Yeah.
with all that stuff, right? I don't think there's a single other signature or photo that I require.
Well, me personally, I missed the boat of not sending that to you when she was in Philly. The Amy autograph.
So.
When you sent me a picture, and I was like,
so you have a goal, you
Yeah.
have a want, you have
See,
a need.
that's
If she
the
shows
one.
up, guess what?
I got it.
You're
knocked
on
out.
board.
Yeah.
Do you think
So-
that'll ever be on the table?
I think they're working towards it.
Yeah.
I think there's a behind-the-scenes relationship that is being formed that, in time, people will know about.
Might be more.
Let's just be completely honest. We here at this table, we have a relationship with Scott to the point of we volunteer and we do what's needed done,
Yeah.
versus some volunteers who do it so they can be at the show.
Yeah.
So we hear things, we know things, we've seen things that may or may not have been meant for our knowledge,
Yeah.
but at the same time, we're not those individuals who take information, run with it, and post it to the world. So we'll just say there are relationships being built behind the scenes that could very well benefit other towns. As they have already mentioned, there is going to be a traveling PMC for 2019, which is not what I expected it to be, which I expected it to be, oh, there's this convention happening in this town. We're going to go and set up a section and call it PMC, kind of like how, BookCon has now teamed with New York Comic Con. So while New York Comic Con's happening, BookCon's happening in another portion of the building. No, this is going to be a small venue, bingo hall type deal where it's a pop-up convention in a town across, I would say, the world. There's a possibility they might try to do something in the UK. They could possibly do something in South America. There's nothing but options that are available.
Yeah.
And it's been stated that Scott Zillner of PMC and Jason David Frank are partners in this. And there's other individuals who are also going to be involved in this, and you very well could have a convention of maybe 5 to 10 Rangers at a time just pop up in your city. So this has growth, and it's going to move forward. I'm excited to see where it's going to go.
Yeah.
This is my favorite part about being with you guys, is learning all this stuff ahead of time.
Yeah, well, that's why we don't.
I don't tell anyone. I don't talk. I don't even talk.
That's why
our group is very tiny.
yeah.
Very.
And we keep it that way for
reason.
obvious reasons, and personal reasons, right? There's a lot of people who we've come in contact at these shows that, you know, could be considered two-faced. They could be considered shady. You know, it's not for everyone. This group has been a very positive group overall, and in the course of my 5 PMCs, which now span over 10 years.
Good Papa Bear.
Actually, no, it's 8 years. I've managed to make friends across the world that I don't have back home.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the biggest thing I can say that I've taken from these shows.
Yeah.
You know, and that you know, those people have friends and I have friends, and then the group gets bigger, and then we meet new people that are now being brought into the fold, and you know,
We're still on probationary period.
Gary.
Yeah.
And then,
right?
like, you've met my childhood friend, became friends with him. I've met your childhood friend, became friends with him. This is some weird PMC shit. Like, hey, this is a guy I grew up with. This is my best friend. I hate you, Eric, but welcome.
Well, again, I think that was the main thing that I was talking about when I said it's the experiences, it's the people. Because now, not only had our group is tiny for a reason, and we've all become friends, but not only that, we've become, again, very familiar, very friendly with some of the actors as well, where it's like, hey, we go to their booth and we see them. We're not like the other friends who start asking them questions about Power Rangers and this and that. It's like, hey, how's the family? How's this?
Listen,
how's that?
That's one of the things that I said privately, that when you go and you have a conversation with somebody and it's not, well, first the conversation was, how's the show? How's the show
Right.
treating you? How are the family? Whatever, right? But it's more or less, it's the fact that once you get past that, the very first question after is, how's your kid? How's the wife? How's the husband? You know, whatever the case may be for you.
Yeah.
That's the type of atmosphere that this is. And that stemmed from the early days of PMC, because it was such an intimate thing that has now grown past that, which is great. Because, I mean, how many times did we walk up to a certain booth when they had maybe 40 people in line and literally walked right past them, had a conversation, stood behind the table? I mean, the two of you watched someone's table. That's trust. That's something that you don't just get. Right? You earn that. And I need to put this out there. I wanted to put it out there earlier when we were talking about it more. But it just dawned on me. There was a lot of people bitching about lines in general. If you come to an event and don't expect a line,
Something's wrong.
there's a major problem.
Yeah, something's wrong.
I don't give a shit if it's I'm in line for an exclusive, I'm in line for a panel, I'm in line to meet a certain individual. Especially when that individual is only there for 1 day of 3 days. Right? There's other individuals that are there the entire time, start to finish, and they suck it up and they stick it out, even if nobody's going to their table. Right? You have your option at that point. You can come and go. Like, I'll admittedly say, Adelaide was a goal for me. I went to her table before the doors opened.
Going for Courtney also.
I stood in line, and I waited
45
minutes before the show even opened. And she was still not there at the beginning. But guess what? I did it early. I got it out of the way. That gave me, 6-7 hours additional for the rest of the day to basically do me. People, you need to understand, no matter what you do, there's going to be a line. And I bet more than half of those people went to Disney this weekend. Or this week. You expect no lines there? You're out of your goddamn mind.
That's my goal for
You got to wait in line at fucking Pizza Hut.
Oh, yeah.
The fuck out of here. Go to a convention. You can't stand in a line.
Like, I've told the stories about why I don't do lines, but it doesn't mean that I don't have a problem standing in the line.
Sure.
I will stand in line. I was like,
Listen, if you want it bad enough, you're going to stand in that fucking line.
Yeah,
exactly.
But don't go bitching after you do it. Like,
Right.
oh, that line was so long. No,
Which is
you
why-
chose to stand there.
I'm glad I got most of everybody that I wanted to meet out of the way.
Yeah.
Like when Austin came back, there was a line. What did Courtney and I do? We'll be back.
Right.
Oh, hey, his lines, what, about 15 people deep?
Yeah. We
Well,
jumped
now's
right
the
in.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We jumped right in.
And what happened when we left?
People think that things are just going to disappear.
Yeah.
What you do is you find out the schedule. If the schedule states that they're here from this to this, you got time.
Right.
You go get in that line when people start to die off.
Like when we were watching Booth, and then people were coming up and asking, yeah, when it's like, he'd be back at 2:45. I would have just stayed there.
Yeah.
People were coming up and just talking to us in general.
Yeah.
You got someone to talk to while you wait now.
Right.
Yeah. Listen, you got to find that happy medium, right? You can't just expect.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier on in this conversation, I stated people expect you to just hand them things, spoon feed everything.
Yeah.
You got to sacrifice just as much as everybody else is sacrificing. Because guess what? None of these people have to be here.
Right.
You don't even have to be here.
Mm-hmm.
I would prefer it if you weren't, but
Rob hates people.
I do.
Filthy millennials.
Yeah. No one sees you, Papa Bear. They just hear you.
Can you just explain
They
that
saw me
that
though.
name?
What, the millennial?
No.
The
Oh,
Papa
Papa
Bear.
Bear? Okay, so I call Rob.
And this is gonna be hilarious when
Papa
I cut
Bear.
all of that out and it jumps back to this.
I call Rob, or our editor-in-chief, Papa Bear, because he's a dad. And when we were planning this trip, the way he explained stuff is like, as you can hear how angry he is, but it's the most loving I have ever heard him. So he has been taking care of us like we're his children. So he's the Papa Bear.
I've just been calling him Con Mom.
No, that isn't.
Your term's weak.
You're a con
It's
mom.
not supposed to be.
Super not fired.
It make it seem like he's either an
Super
ex-con
not
or
fire.
Super not fired.
makes it seem like he's an ex-con who's also a mom.
Yeah. That's exactly what that
That's
sounds
fine.
like. That's exactly what that sounds like. Anyway,
It feels accurate to me.
we're starting to trail off, so that probably means that we basically said all that we've said.
That's
Yeah.
bad.
Unless there's any other small whatever. All in all, for me, I really enjoyed it, and just like you said, Rob, just like I said earlier, really what PMC is, what this is a vacation, and it's, even with some of the actors, it's vacation to come hang out with people.
Yeah, no,
Very
I,
much so.
I will agree with that. There are certain individuals who accept this task for the weekend to see people that they have known forever. These people are not all based here.
Right.
The vast majority are based here,
Yeah.
but it is something that we have agreed is a true comment that they are a fraternity / sorority
Oh,
of
yeah.
their own.
Yeah.
Intermingling between seasons, as far as like these people are friends and they'll go out to dinner when they're in town together, and like all these things, they try to help each other get other gigs elsewhere. Like, it's a big family that they're all a part of.
Yeah.
So it's good to see those relationships kind of rekindle after, however many months or years it's been, and then seeing new faces show up and the old interacting with the new. Like, I saw, I think it was Jason Fawn went to Adam, I can never say his last name, Yeah, whatever it is. I just can't pronounce it.
Yeah.
Went to his booth. I watched him introduce himself. I watched him conversate for a few moments as I was walking in that area. And then I saw later on that there was photos posted. Like, when you're that humbling to be able to go to somebody else that you don't know, but that's in kind of welcoming them in,
Yeah.
that's what this really is about. I mean, there's a lot of people that we might not fuck with, but we'll talk to them.
Yeah.
Right? That's I think the vast majority. I can say that I've never had a bad experience here personally, but I've also never heard of a bad experience at this specific convention.
It's like, so Eric and I did like a little introducement to the channel type video earlier. And then he was like, I've met so many actors. I've never met an asshole actor.
At this
Him
event,
personally.
you won't.
Yeah.
You won't, because let's face it, some of them have retired. They have real everyday jobs. I think there's a handful that are teachers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know one of them specifically is, but
Yeah.
I think a couple of them are actual teachers. You know, some work in the healthcare industry, some are businessmen, where they're, you know, whether they be lawyers or they're real estate, like whatever the case is, they
Yeah.
all have a 9-to-5 job. Some of them are still in the limelight. It's not hard to figure out who,
Right.
But he's talking about me.
but at the same time, you know, it just going on that whole thing. Haven't met an asshole,
Yeah.
celebrity. You shouldn't,
Right.
right? Because their life can be a lot different.
Yeah.
So if you did meet one of them, they don't need to be here,
Right.
and I don't need to go see them.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know, but just to kind of tip my cap, Scott Zillner does God's work,
Mm-hmm.
because I know a lot of things in the background.
He does Zordon's work on his channel.
What's
Yeah.
He does Zordon's work on his channel.
Yeah. The Universal Church is Lord on.
that? He does more than anybody really realizes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
If you're on the inside of that conversation, you know just how much he does. And everybody should be thanking him for every single aspect
Mm-hmm.
of this show.
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, there is more good than bad.
Yeah, because we really walked in here prepared
Yeah.
for this to be the last one.
And just
Yeah.
to throw this out there, those that were standing in line day one for a very, very, very long time, that is because the fire marshal got involved.
Mm-hmm.
And they had to change the way they were doing things. So sorry, not sorry. You were standing in line. You knew what you were getting into.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we knew there would be a line.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
what did we do? We waited before we headed out there. It was
Yeah.
like, all right.
we wait an hour and a half,
Yeah,
2
because
hours?
the doors open to get registration was at noon. And
we
we
didn't
were
go down
like,
there till like 1:30.
yeah, it was like,
almost 2.
we'll head there close to 2 because we can get our badges. And we have that hour because everybody in our group
Mm-hmm.
was golden up. And we have that hour to just walk around the floor.
And listen, Scott even changed the time because of the mess up. He
Mhm.
changed the time people were able to enter to allow some gold and platinum
Yeah.
to get in early at a point,
Yeah.
right? If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure we had at least 15 minutes.
Yeah.
At least, and they didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
Nope.
Fire marshals, you know, threw something in the way, and Scott worked around it. He did what he had to do to make that work. So yes, if you ever come in contact with Scott Zillner, you need to thank him and praise him, because without him, this doesn't happen.
Yeah.
He always says, without us, it doesn't happen. Sure, that's because we fund it,
Mm-hmm.
but he's the one that's doing all the legwork.
Right. If it wasn't for him,
This would
we
never
wouldn't.
exist.
It wouldn't be. We wouldn't have the opportunity to help
Yeah.
this out and actually make this a thing.
And I hope somebody of importance does, in fact, hear the beginning conversation where
Yeah.
we had our opinions to better it. You know, I still stand by Platinum goes in and does their thing first.
Mm-hmm.
Then you go to the next tier, and then the next tier, and then the next tier, and just run that gauntlet and get them out of the way.
Yeah.
If you're not going to send that stuff in the mail. If a ticket and a badge sells out, now you know we can mail these out now.
Yeah.
Get it out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Panels, you need to have a team that follows the rules, follows directions, and makes sure everybody that's supposed to be doing certain things are doing those things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it for me.
Yep. And just add on to that, like, you need let the actors know, hey, it would be great if you brought somebody as an assistant or something like
Sure,
that. to help
they
out.
should know that they need to have somebody there to help them.
Yeah.
And like we had stated, we've built relationships. You helped
Yeah.
2 different actors. I've helped multiple different actors.
3 different, if you count it. Because we were both at the table, then we went and helped 2 others. But
Okay.
they were side by side.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, when you really break it down, they know what they're getting into,
Yeah.
right? I
Mhm.
know some people tend to pack a lunch, knowing that they're going to be there for a little while,
Mm-hmm.
or they ask somebody that they know, "Hey, can you know?" But at the same time, there should be somebody that is dealing with them on a personal level or a business / personal level, they should have somebody that's under them that is going table to table and saying, hey, do you need anything?
Mhm.
Making a list.
Right.
Okay, so-and-so needs this. I got to do this. They need to talk to so-and-so.
Right.
And then you make that happen. You get that all put in place and you get it taken care of.
Yeah.
But if you don't do that, then that's just shitty,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Sure, you did the legwork. Sure, you got them here. Sure, you took care of them, their hotel and their accommodations or their flight, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You need to make sure they're still well kept.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And again, that probably needs to be handled with picking.
Making sure you delegate to the proper person.
Making sure the proper person is picked to delegate to. Because you can't. If I'm terrible, don't
Give me another job.
Right. Don't give me another
Right.
job.
If I suck at doing what I do,
Right.
don't fucking give me that job.
Right.
If I'm better suited, standing at the door and greeting people, then give me that job.
Yeah.
Right? If I'm better suited standing at registration and taking information and handing them their stuff, give me that job.
Yeah.
If I'm better at speaking to a crowd and comforting them to make sure that they're going to be taken care of properly and or make sure that something's running smooth, give me that job.
Yeah.
But don't give the job to somebody who has never done it and possibly could turn power hungry.
Mm-hmm. Because you definitely don't want that.
Oh, I will go power hungry, but it'll be manageable power hungry. I just like abusing power.
I would simply state if I were doing a panel,
Yeah.
see, running a panel is fairly simple, right?
Mhm.
You make sure it stays on time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. So you have a goer. That individual is to, as a panel is happening, you go to everybody. You have a panel at this time, right?
Mhm.
You're telling them your panel is next. Please be at this location at this time. So that goer does that, and then they come back, and then they assist with, we're going to open the doors, we're going to let everybody out, we're going to let whoever's going to come back in, and that's it. But you need to also make sure that the right individuals are in the right locations.
Right.
So if platinum and gold have priority, you should really let them in first and let
Yeah.
them decide where they want to sit. If it's not going to be a designated area, let them at least in the room first.
Yeah.
Give it about a 30-second head start after they're all in the room, and then you let everybody else float back in.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not going to go well.
Yeah.
I can't tell you, when there was assigned seats and there was assigned locations for seats, if I walked up and there was somebody that shouldn't be in a certain area, I was allowed to state, that's my seat, I need you to move.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you were gold sitting in platinum, I was allowed to say, I'm platinum, you're gold, I need that seat, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
I'm not big on panels, but when I do want to go to that one or two, I expect to have that
luxury.
that ability.
Yeah, that ability.
You know,
that
I don't
option.
even want to consider it a luxury
Yeah.
because I paid for that shit.
Right, exactly. No, you're right.
I bought my position.
Yeah. Other than that, I mean, I've said all that I said. Just, as far as like the organization of the pre-reg and the redemption stuff, things like that, stagger the times, give platinum, you can even have platinum gold, open it up to platinum gold, but then just take all the platinums first. Like, hey, platinum can go at 10. Gold can come in as
Listen,
well.
if you did that, that platinum line would be done in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But instead, we stood there for well over an hour.
Yeah.
Because there was probably about, I'd say, 100 golds that were ahead of us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We should have been able to just walk up, grab our shit, and walk the fuck out.
Yeah. So, besides that, and the whole,
Or, here's a better idea. If you're not going to mail out gold and platinum stuff after the tickets sell out in a month, then have a specific dedicated registration area
mm-hmm.
for gold and platinum.
Yeah.
And when no more gold and platinum are coming up, you can continue to funnel those reds into the red line
Mm-hmm.
and silver or whatever. I think it's only red that's allowed in on Friday.
I think so.
You can continue to funnel people into that one line, but then when there's no gold and platinums coming to your table, when you're the gold and platinum line, you just take the next red that's in line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then guess what? Now there's a golden or a platinum. You don't take another red at that point.
Right.
You just take that gold or that platinum. There are easier ways to do it,
Yeah.
and I think they just need to go to the drawing board. But the problem is the individual that is more than likely the one to make the decisions has to be somewhere else to delegate elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't know and they don't see and they can't make a decision on certain things. I can go on and on about this.
We can go on and on.
specifically with different positive opinions and other alternatives.
Yeah.
But at this point, I gotta piss and I need a shower, so I'm out.
All
Thank
right.
you for listening to me. Goodbye.
So, as soon as we're wrapping up, we would like to thank all of our guests today. We would like to thank the editor-in-chief, who's now going to piss and shower and possibly shit.
You better let that out.
Leaving it in.
We could like to thank 3-Word Gary over there.
You're welcome.
Jordan and
Ash and
Ashley.
Jordan. And I'd like to thank my little brother, because I got to see him in person today, you know.
Shut the
Thank
fuck
you,
up.
Papa Bear.
Yeah, so, guys, this was really, really fun. This is why I wanted to do this, get everybody together in the same room. Yeah, that was it for this special PMC wrap-up episode of the BoDcast. So, look forward to listening to this, and go check out all the other stuff on the YouTube channel, guys. And we're out. Peace out.
Thanks for listening and /watching.